What's up guys, Matt here coming at you with the brand new Mojave Grom. Very excited to finally get a hold of this thing. When I seen these released, I had to pre-order it. You know, I have a full-size Mojave that we rip like crazy on 8S even, and the thing's been basically indestructible. So when I seen it released on the smaller scale, I was like, I gotta have it. You know, this is perfect for ripping around in the garage, in the house, or just in a smaller yard or something like that. You know, you don't have to have as much room to enjoy something like this. So I think this is really gonna be a blast. And we did sort of cheat and kind of pop this open to take a look at it, and it's very sweet. So when I seen this, I was like, I gotta have that. You know, I just love the colorway that they've got going on with this. It's just beautiful. Look at this thing. Unbelievable how good this looks. One of the best things I've seen about this thing so far is this body system. Like, I hope we start getting this on a lot of bodies, because look at that. You just push those two buttons. That is so nice. If that stays on and doesn't come off when we're beating this thing to death, that's the best body system ever. And one of the things I noticed about this body right away is how beefy it is inside and how braced up and supported it is. So we're not going to be destroying this thing, crushing the roof of it or anything like that, because this inside, which is part of the interior, is insanely thick and just bulky. It's got some weight to it, but it's not bad. And I don't think on this thing, which sits kind of low, it's really gonna matter. I think it's gonna actually help us get a little bit of maybe body roll, kind of like a real short course truck. So I just absolutely love the look of this thing. You've got the interior with the two drivers there. Just looks great. Two drivers. We got two steering wheels on this thing, right? But no, just they did an excellent job with this body, and the clipless system is one of the best I've ever used. It just clips on like that. You push these two buttons on the sides, lifts right off. I hope this holds well. If it does, I hope we start getting these on everything. And then you can also see, look at that. Those shocks work well. So that's pretty high drop before we're getting chassis slap there. Sort of a normal drop. Very good feeling shocks. So let's just take a quick look at some of the stuff included here. One of them is this Allen head tool that fits all of your Allen heads, and then you have your wheel nut tool on the back side of that for your wheel nuts. You're not gonna lose this. It's pretty good size, but very nice tool, actually, seems like. We've got the charger here, which is just one of the very simple, like, smart chargers for these batteries with these, what are these, IC2s, yeah, EC2s is what I was gonna call it, but the IC2, so you don't have a balance lead, it's built in. Exact same style battery that comes with this thing. So if you have one of these, I have two batteries for this that should work in here as well. Probably not gonna give us as much run time because they are an 810, and this comes with the 1400 mile pack. So it's cool though that it does have sort of the same style battery. I think we can run this so we can get 3 times as much runtime out of this, since we have extra batteries. And then of course you've got the manual. We've got some preload spacers for the shocks, and that looks to be about it. So they do offer this in the red and black colorway. I just fell in love with this one and had to have this one. And they really just couldn't have picked a better colorway for me personally. I absolutely love this body. You can see we've got a nice layout, a nice cooling fan in front of the motor there, and then a heat sink on the motor. It stayed plenty cool even out in the basically 100-degree weather, running it, ripping, shredding. Everything stayed nice and cool. You can tell this thing has a ton of travel. Look at that. I mean, insane amount of travel. The only thing I did notice after a little running is the rear just really sits squatted all the time. A little droop there is fine, but on your landings or just under throttle, it would really sag in the rear. So I'll probably go ahead and add another preload spacer to the rear just to keep that from constantly sagging like that. And then the other issue I ran into was the stock charger just doesn't charge the battery. This battery, it shows that it's charged with the solid green light. I plug it in and it barely runs the steering, and there's no throttle. I know it is an issue with the charger because I plugged up one of my other batteries that was charged and it works fine. But 2 batteries trying to charge on this charger would not charge them at all. So inside the garage here, ripping around on the slick floor is definitely where I enjoyed this truck the most. And it's usually where I enjoy most of the small, tiny bashers, either in the garage here or indoors or whatever. In those tight spaces, they are just a lot of fun. And this being four-wheel drive, you can easily drift around on the slick concrete, but still hold a good line. And it's just really a lot of fun. You take these outdoors, a lot of times I'm kind of disappointed. You know, you hit a tiny little boulder and it completely throws the truck off course. So for me, I had the most fun with this in the garage and out on the concrete, actually. I could easily see drawing out a track on either and just kind of ripping them around indoors or in a tight area. All right, so we're gonna try to see what sort of speed we're getting out of this thing. I'm just gonna throw this on the front and hopefully it will stay there. And then we're gonna try to get our speed run just straight down through here on the concrete. It's maxing out there, but I don't know if we'll be able to get an accurate speed test, but we're gonna try. So starting down here and running as fast and as straight as I can, I got to a max of 17.3. I ran it a few times and I was getting like 16, but a max of 17.3. I think these are supposed to get up around 20. There goes that. But you know, I'm kind of limited in space right here. And on the gravel, I mean, it goes pretty good on the gravel. I just don't think it's gonna really get max speed on the gravel well. It starts bouncing around and stuff, but this will go well on the gravel. You can see there, it is four-wheel drive, and listen how quiet it is. This thing is crazy quiet. As hot as it is out here, I feel like this is gonna be a lot of fun in the garage. Move the van out and maybe put a couple little jumps out and just rip this thing in the garage. That's what I love about these smaller RCs and bashers. You can see it really jumps well when you hit the jump right. And the cool thing is, out here on this concrete, it really handles like a short course truck. It reminds me of the full-size Mojave because I can really rip it around out here like that, and it almost won't roll over. Like, it just slides the perfect amount. You get that body lean going. So the value in this thing at 150 bucks is pretty insane in my opinion. This body is very nice. They put a lot of work into it. It's got the nice interior, the cage kind of built in. You know, I can see this truck with a cheap little Lexan body thrown on it running 150 bucks. So the fact that we're getting this really nice body, a nice solid chassis underneath, and really a good brushed system that is going to be fine for most people for 150 bucks, I think it is easily worth the money. To me, I could see paying 200 or maybe even 225 for this thing. So I think at 150, this is a great deal and a lot of fun to be had. This is a full ball bearing truck with metal gears, metal diff front and rear, CVs in the front, dog bones in the rear. Just a solid performer for the price. I think it's really bucking it now. So you'll notice it started to nose really bad on this jump. As the battery wore down, it just didn't quite have the wheel speed to keep the front end up. Even though I would kind of keep it pinned, it just wouldn't hold that front end up. So that can become an issue over time if you're running on a jump with a lot of lip like that. I would probably try to set up something with a little more flat-faced lip on it. And here you'll see it doesn't do thick grass well. Now, I've seen people run these through the grass and bash with them somewhat, but really, a basher to me is something that you can take outside and just plow through anything, really. And that's where these smaller trucks like this kind of struggle. You see that boulder right there? You're just bouncing and bobbling around a lot. Any kind of larger dirt clod or anything that you hit, it's really just going to kind of throw the thing out of whack. And you see people bashing with them. Donuts are definitely fun. Check that out. But, I mean, they're out of control a lot, and it's just bouncing and bobbling everywhere. So for me, the most fun for this 100% would be on a well-groomed track, or if you even just kind of smooth out an area like I've got here. This was done just with the backhoe bucket And if I kind of just work this a little bit with a rake, we could easily make a nice track for this. And that's where I think this would really shine. It is a little bit underpowered, kind of felt slightly underpowered at times on the dirt. And I could definitely see if you were powering out of a turn and going straight into a jump, you'd want a little more wheel speed at times to kind of clear some doubles and that sort of thing. So brushless would probably be something I'd look into if I was going to run it on outdoors or on a track like this much at all. And really, there's probably several like $40 to $50 cheap brushless systems you could fit in this pretty easily. So for me, the most fun I'm going to have with this is probably inside in the garage on the slick floor or out here ripping around on the concrete. But small bashers suffer from, they can't really bash. You know, if you take this on rough dirt, dirt clods are just way too big for it. It just bobbles and bounces around, flips over. So that's where the small bashers kind of struggle sometimes. It is a lot of fun out here on the concrete, or I could see it being a lot of fun on a well-groomed like clay track or something. But besides that, it's not like a monster truck or anything that you can really do flips with or anything, so you're kind of going to get bored with it quick, I think. It does have a smooth transition from reverse into forward, so you can kind of flip it around like that, but there's not a lot of tricks you can do with it or anything. So unless you have a spot set up to sort of run this, maybe race some friends. Now I could see out here, we used to draw a track with chalk for the mini V's and set up a couple little jumps and kind of run each other and race. This would be a lot of fun for that, but I just don't see it being a basher at all. So you guys let me know what you think about it. It is a lot of fun and I absolutely love the look of it, but it suffers from that small basher syndrome. Like, you can't really bash a lot with it. Yes, you can do some things, but will it make it out of that? Oh, it barely made it out of there. So like even hitting the grass, you can't do a lot in the grass. It does do the gravel okay. But you get out of control quick. So really for me, the most fun is just ripping this around out here. So that's where I see a track out here would be fun. I do think right now, indoors is the best fun because it's like 100 degrees out here. Check it out, we got Liam over here working on a special project. Coming soon. Another really cool thing about this is it uses a standard 12mm hex. So I was at my buddy Dustin's and we got to playing around with these foam wheels and tires. He had some drift wheels that I thought would work, and we tried these. They worked great. So these are what is on this side here. And then that brought me home to try all of my drift wheels. And pretty much all of these work. I've even got some rubber tires here that fit well. You can see you can easily throw some drift wheels and tires on this thing and rip around the garage. So it's really cool that this is so universal and we can use our drift wheels and tires on this. So I wanted to throw a quick little size comparison in here just so you guys could kind of get a feel for the size of this. Here is the Mini LMT. So very similar in size. Obviously this has much bigger wheels and sits taller and different stance, but fairly close in wheelbase. Of course the Traxxas 4MT. And here's an SCX24 sitting next to it. You can tell much larger than the SCX24. And here's a sort of standard 1/10 scale drift car, just to kind of show that because we were drifting with this. And this does come with the Spectrum SLT2 basic, very basic transmitter, but it works well. I like the size of this, very one-hand drivable. A lot of the drifting I was doing with one hand while filming. And you've got your steering rate, steering trim. You do have a throttle limit, 50, 75, 100, and then your steering reverse on the back side as well. Power button here, really nice transmitters, just pretty basic. But for the price of this, this is a very good system. This is an all-in-one ESC receiver combo, so if you do go brushless, you will have to change this out. And I also wanted to make a quick recommendation. If you're going to stick with Spectrum style batteries, you've got a lot of different trucks that are running these. Maybe you have the dirt bike, the low-C dirt bike as well. Get you a good charger. I'll show you the charger I'm using for these, and just pick up one of these for these small batteries. And I'm running this charger right over here. That is a very good charger. It charges very quickly. It's a dual charger. Fairly expensive. I got this in a deal when I bought my original Mojave, actually, and I was going to turn around and resell it, but then I used it and found out how fast it charges. It charges probably almost twice as fast as this, at least a quarter faster than this at the same amps. So it's a really good charger, and it's one of the only things of Spectrum that I would recommend, but definitely just pick something like this up. Those little USB things, they're junk. As you'll see here, with the right set of drift wheels and tires, this thing can be a lot of fun as a drift truck as well. So very versatile little thing for $150. So much fun to be had in this thing, and I'm very impressed with it. Overall, I highly recommend this. If you like the looks of them, just go for it. You'll love it. I did get around 30 to 45 minutes on the stock battery. I kind of lost track. It seemed like it was going to run forever, and no heat issues at all, even while drifting, which is constantly spinning that motor. So overall, I'm really impressed with it. You guys let me know what you think about it. I'll link it in the description if you pick it up from the link. Obviously, it helps out the channel, and I greatly appreciate it. If you stuck around this long, thanks so much. You guys are the best. Peace.